Big heat with Matt Wilkinson taking on Joan Duru. Also a big encounter with Jeep leader number 4, Geordie Smith, going up against Ryan Callanan. So 2 big heats to get the morning underway. This will be our first one. Technically very much in the world title hunt here. So this is a world title implication heat, and it will be first gear now to Joan Duru. He'll climb and hold. Deep combination here as he sweeps that turn. Lots of rail. You see there's still a little high tide on the track here, but Joan Duru now getting a lovely run through the inside. So constructive surfing. That's a very tight click, and the French crowd already applauding.
Or who was going to give it up, I should say. And actually Wilco won that battle, but as a result the set was so big, the right was the wave to go on.
So back part of the set now, and an opportunity with a clean face for Wilco, who'll go very well-defined turns on the approach. Deep combination. That's a beautiful hook. This is more like the Wilco we saw at the start of the year, and that is a nice reply to the Frenchman to get going through the first 10 minutes of the heat here. And Ross, starting to see some numbers come from the panel.
Well, you can see right there, that was a very key moment in the heat. Wilco won the battle of being on inside position for the left, not for the right. So that set threw them off a little bit. And Joan Duru got that right-hander kind of swept right under his toes. And, you know, so he won that battle, so mentally he's stoked. He's thinking, cool, I'm eking out a decent score, but you can see the culprit there. That wave laid down a little bit for Joan. It was a little bit flat, and that's going to reflect in his score. In fact, it just dropped it to 6.5. Wave choice was key here for Wilco. You can see the steepness in the face. That's going to allow him to hit that lip square. There's spray going out to the sky, and then he also had a really nice closeout section to, you know, end that wave on a very positive note for the judges. And you know, he's got that early lead with Joan. It's going to really settle the nerves for him.
All right, so numbers appearing now, and Wilkinson did get the best of the opening exchange. Now Wilco to wave 2. Lovely release there. A little bit of a complicated section, but he'll link now a beautiful second run through. Now picking the left-hander for an opportunity.
On your toes and make sure you're in position.
Wilco found a 2.67 for his second ride. Let's see how Joan Duru gets his one underway, and that's a big squared up hit. So big opening turn. Judges will love it when you start linking 2 big turns on the outside. So Duru now playing strength on this second ride exchange. Joan Duru, little pocket, see how it's ripping in the bowl here, and he'll run a lovely lace through it. Joan Duru, open expression here, feeling comfortable, and dare I say, getting the better of the second wave exchange, Ross.
Most definitely. You know, that was a nice wave there. There was a little break in the action where he had to spend a bit of time getting around that third section. So that's the only thing that Joan will be concerned about in terms of getting a big score. Linked up floater there. This turn right here is pretty money. Layback hammer. Caught just a little bit of a rail, but it still looks powerful, which is good for Joan. Right there, there's that gap in the action. So, you know, as a surfer, that's always a bit of a concern. You don't want to let the judges kind of doze off there. Nice sweeping cut back there. And again, Joan, very cruisy in this effort. I think had he had that wave over, he would have went for a little more definition, maybe one big tail slide on the inside. So I think this score should be medium. Beautiful style from Joan. You can see that projection float. There's that layback snap there. So again, he's going to be a little bummed that he caught an edge, but we're splitting hairs here. You know, overall, that was a very solid power move from Joan.
And the orientation, lefts and rights. Let's go back to the best ride of the heat thus far. This is the 783, Ross.
Yeah, and that's what Wilco does so well. You see how low he gets to his board? He compresses off the back foot and the front foot. So he's got that kind of boxy stance, and it allows him to apply pressure to both feet, which it gives him such a high strike rate. He's very consistent with that backhand slash. Joan Duru on his forehand. There's the carve, so much more variety in this wave. We saw Wilco consistently attack on his backhand. That's what he's known for. But Joan, you know, a different way here to get a score. Almost identical scores, just a 1/10 of a point higher for Wilco. Pretty much just based on the wave was a gem. You know, it was very steep. This is the only part I didn't like so much from Joan. The end of the wave was a little sleepy, and he kind of went for a cruisy cutback.
We're just going to stay on the peak here with our focus. Joan Duru is going to gain access here without priority. So now back to the left-hander. Duru, vertical, more vertical than the last wave we saw for the opener. Lovely second turn, a little bit complicated, but a nice open sweep for the length there. Jean Duru is replicating his previous ride here, but, well, finishing off nice and strong with a big squared up hit. And now it's going to become an exchange. So the left-hander is playing for the Duke out here. Wilkinson, beautiful rail dagger there. That was on edge. Now another link showing Jean Duru what Wilkinson can offer here. And a little ditch there at the end. So great rail game on the forehand. What a showdown.
Now that had to have been a very tough decision for Matty Wilkinson, because, you know, that wave looked pretty good, but he waited for this one. So, you know, let's see if this paid off. First maneuver, nice. Big old float to get down the line, but there's that time again. We've seen a couple times now in this heat. If you have to burn a section to get around it, the judges don't really like that. But I think he made up for it. This end section, very exciting from Wilco. How's that? Layback snap there. That back foot even came off for a second. So very committed turn there from Matty Wilkinson. I would have liked to have seen him kick out of that wave, though, because that last hack was nice, but he came unstuck. And let's see if Joan Duru got the better of this exchange. Nice opening turn, pretty committed, a little off balance there, so the judges won't like that second move. Now he went into a clean wrap. Kind of lost the fins on that second turn, but still pretty committed. And then a floater. So I think Wilco actually surfed a little stronger on his wave, but he had that big kind of gap in time. Whereas Joan's wave was better, but he made a couple little mistakes. So, you know, very tough decision for the judges, Gigs.
Wow. Both athletes taking it to the rail, both of them staying loose with release off the lip as well, Ross. So what a well-balanced exchange. Going to be very interesting to see which way the panel lean on opinions here.
So when they first took off on the wave, it looked like something, it was a good decision. But then as the wave hit the sandbar and it built in, maybe it was just local knowledge by Joan, knowing that that was going to be a good wave.
Well, thanks, Strada. No feedback from the judging panel just yet. We're going back to replays here. No doubt the judges will be pulling up the replays and really dissecting it as well, Ross.
I love that third turn, watching it back from this angle right here. You know, just slightly hung up on that fourth turn, but overall, I think Joan might get the better of the two.
All right, so let's cut to live action here. Wilco looking for the progression.
He's like, come on, boys, settle in on a number. I want to know what's going on here. There's only 2 minutes left. But the judges, they want to make sure they get the correct decision, the correct score. So here's the judges' angle. They're watching a review right now. So they have not dropped a score yet. They still haven't decided. So it's going to be such a close score here. And it's really, it is based on that drop hole. That layback snap from Wilco was his best turn.
Well, both surfers linking, sweeping, power on the rail. Little ditch at the end for Wilco. Wow, so the horn is blown. It will be an official result. Matty Wilkinson will survive the round 2 encounter, and he'll move back into the main focus of round 3 next time we get there. So the world title aspirations of Matt Wilkinson still very much alive here. He is third on the Jeep leaderboard, and he'll breathe a big sigh of relief as he takes the run to the beach here.
That's impressive. You know, third in the world, as you mentioned. World title hopes still intact. That was a big heat. Way closer than Wilco wanted, but he got the job done.
Matt Wilkinson through to round 3.